All right, today we're jumping into a really cool allegorical story. It's short, but it packs a serious punch. It's called The Sentinel of the Mud Hut.
So to get us started, I want to throw a question at you. What if a place, like a room, a house, even a park, could literally hold you accountable for how you treat it? I know it sounds a little out there, but trust me, it's the key to this entire story.
Our story kicks off with a group of trekkers who are in some serious trouble. They find a safe spot, but it's not what you'd call normal.
Okay, so picture this. You're out on a hike, the sky just opens up, and you are getting absolutely drenched. Then, through the pouring rain, you see it on the side of a hill, a single, lonely mud hut. It's a total lifesaver.
So they head over, a little cautiously, the door's already a bit open. They peek inside, and there's no one, not a soul. It looks totally abandoned, like it's been sitting there for years.
But here's the thing that makes no sense. For a place that seems totally deserted, it is spotless. I mean, perfectly clean. How is that even possible? An empty hut in the middle of a storm, and it's immaculate? It's just weird.
And it's the details that are so strange, right? The bed is made with these coir ropes, but it isn't sagging at all. There's a small fireplace with a few old but clean utensils. There's even a pitcher full of fresh water. The only sign anyone's ever been there is a little soot on the wall from an oil lamp. And get this, no bugs, no mosquitoes, not even an ant. It's like a perfectly preserved little bubble. So the truckers, they're just thrilled to be safe and dry. They settle in for the night. But that feeling of relief, it doesn't last. Their perfect shelter is about to feel a lot more like a prison. They're so happy to be out of the rain, they bust out their own food. Canned goods, energy drinks, all the stuff you'd bring on a trek. They eat and drink, feeling pretty lucky. And this is the moment where everything goes wrong. They're tired, I get it, but they don't bother to clean up. They just leave their trash everywhere. Empty cans, used tissues, candy wrappers, all just scattered on the floor. They took what the hut offered, but they didn't show the space even a little bit of respect. So the next morning, the sun is out, the storm is over. They pack up their gear, feeling refreshed, and head right out the door to get back on the trail. Or so they think. This is where the sheer panic must have kicked in. They've been walking for a good 10 minutes. They're moving forward, talking, hiking, but when they look around, they're still inside the hut. How is that possible? It's like they're on a treadmill to nowhere. As they're freaking out, trying to figure out what's going on, a single ray of sunlight cuts through the confusion and literally shines a light on the answer. The sunbeam hits the wall and it illuminates 4 words they'd seen before but totally ignored. Swachtiva Sundarthiva. It's a phrase in Marathi. And its meaning is incredibly simple, but for them it's a revelation. Keep it clean, keep it beautiful. And in that one moment, it all just clicks. The hut had a rule, a very simple rule. Suddenly, the way out becomes crystal clear. First, they have to actually see the mess they made and realize what they did. Next, they start bagging up all the trash, every last can and wrapper. And finally, they restore the hut to how it was, making sure it's absolutely spotless again. And just like that, the moment the last piece of trash is gone and the hut is clean, the magic just stops. They walk toward the door, step through, and this time they're actually outside, far from the hut in an instant. The rule is simple, and the fix was too. So they're finally free, but you can imagine they can't stop thinking about what just happened. And as it turns out, the hut has a backstory, a whole legend about the spirit that protects it. A little further down the trail, they stop at a tea stall, and they just have to tell someone their crazy story. And the guy who owns the stall, he just nods. He's not even surprised. He knows all about the legend of the old woman who used to live in that hut. And here's where it all connects so perfectly. The way the old woman lived is the hut's magic. See, she always kept her home neat and tidy. Now, the hut magically stays clean. She used to share forest fruits with anyone who passed by. Now, the hut offers shelter to travelers in need. Her whole philosophy was, take care of the place and it will take care of you. And that's literally what the hut does. The story goes that one day, when she was very old, she just walked off into the jungle and was never seen again. But the local people, They believe her spirit is still there, acting as a sentinel, a guardian. They say she protects the hut from everything, even the huge landslides that are pretty common in that area.
So, okay, it's a great story, but what does a magical mud hut in a forest have to do with any of us? Well, turns out its message is bigger than you'd think. This right here was the old woman's entire worldview. It's not some complicated philosophical idea. It's just a simple, powerful truth about the relationship we have with the world around us. When you boil it all down, that's what this story is about. Reciprocity. The simple idea that our environment, whether that's a tiny hut or the entire planet, gives us so much. It gives us shelter, food, beauty, and all it asks for in return is a little care, a little respect. And that brings us to the final thought. That hut in the story, it's a powerful metaphor, right? So the real question it leaves us with is this. What are the huts in our own world? Our homes, our neighborhoods, our public parks, our oceans? Which places are we taking from without making sure to give a little care back?